Are you a runner in your 40s and 50s and suddenly everything just feels like a hard slog? What were easy paces now feel hard. Every run just feels like an effort. Maybe you're just wondering, am I ever going to get back to those easy, enjoyable runs again? If this sounds like you, fear not. There are lots of things that we can do to help stop this slowdown. So keep watching for tips on how to keep running strong through menopause. If you feel that your running endurance and your pace has changed going through this menopause period, then it's time to take an audit. I want you to think about what runs you do. How many days a week do you run? Are they all longer runs? Do you have short runs in there? Are they all hard and fast, or are there those easier runs in there? Do you also make time to for recovery? It's really important to kind of have an idea of what kind of runs you're doing and also what's changed. So maybe 10 years ago you were running a mixture of runs, but now because you feel like you don't have much time anymore, you're getting those hard fast, and every single run is a hard fast run. Or maybe you have a lot of stress and you just feel like you just need to get out there and you don't care about the kind of how long you're going, or the distance or anything like that. You just want to be out there to clear your mind. The reasons why we run can change in this period, and it's really helpful to kind of look at what you're running, and then we can work out what needs to be tweaked so that you can keep running strong, you can keep running at the paces that you want to, and you can keep running feeling that ease of running rather than everything feeling like a big hard slog and an effort. Now I want to look at your easy runs, and I want you to ask yourself, are they truly easy? Now that might be a hard question to answer, because what is easy? Well, easy is those runs where you can feel like you can run for a lot longer. So maybe you're out for half an hour and you feel like, actually I could run for an hour at this pace. Or you're with a friend and you could just talk very happily with them and have a really long conversation. Those are the kind of easy runs. If you want to think about it in heart rate, that's kind of like your zone 2 heart rates. Or what I find better is to think about RPE, that's your rate of perceived exertion. RPE is a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is when you're just sitting on the sofa, absolutely doing nothing, no stresses or anything. 10 is when you are running as fast as you can, you're running for your life, there's a bear chasing you, you're going to run. That's kind of your 1 to 10. So thinking on that 1 to 10, your easy run should be on that 3 to 4 scale. So comfortable, as I've just said, you could go out for longer, you could have a nice long conversation. And the reason I like RPE is because it's the perceived effort of that day. So whereas our pace can change, our heart rate can change, when we perceive our effort, we can think, okay, this feels like a 3. And actually it might be slower than last week, it might be faster than last week, but as long as that effort, as long as you're thinking, yes, this is a 3 to 4 out of 10 effort for me, that's the kind of pace you want. And having these easy runs is really important, because that's when you're going to build your endurance and your stamina. So that's really important. Check your easy runs, make sure you are truly running easy. However, we still do need those faster runs, but we need to be a little bit smarter about how we do them. So faster runs is when our stamina builds, it's when we can build our speed, it's when our muscle mass can build, our strength, our stamina. It's fantastic for general overall health, and we really shouldn't think, I'm in my 40s, 50s now, I just need to go slow. We need that faster running still. It's going to help us, it's going to be so beneficial kind of as we get older, as we go through the menopause and beyond. So don't give up on your faster running. However, rather than going out for a really, really fast 5K and kind of giving it your all once a week and thinking, great, that's my speed runs done, that can actually lead to you feeling a little bit more depleted, a little bit more exhausted. So what we want to do is be smarter and use intervals. So a really, really simple way to do intervals is to warm up at that easy pace for about 10 minutes and then do intervals of 30 seconds hard fast running, followed by 30 seconds of recovery, doing your easy paces. And the recovery is really important for this, because that makes sure that everything's ready to go again for that next 30-second hard fast interval. If 30 seconds seems like too much to begin with, try 10-second intervals, 30 seconds, and you can build that up, you can mix that up, you know, going up to a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or using distance. But this kind of short, sharp intervals is really important. You can also do that with hills. Hills are really beneficial for kind of muscle strength. So sprinting up hills, recovery down, that's another way. Or playing around with speed by you doing a fartlek session where you kind of do a little bit faster, do a bit slower, kind of mix everything up. So you're doing a range of paces within your runs. So keep fast, but do it smarter, do it with intervals. Next, I want you to make time for recovery. So recovery days are quite often the missing piece of the puzzle. And that's when I said about doing your audit, I said about when are your recovery days? Do you have any at all? Or are you on the go the whole time? The reason recovery is so important is because it's when our body adapts to our training. It's when our body gets stronger. It's when our muscles repair. So having recovery days are vital to make sure that you can keep running at the pace and with the endurance that you want as you go through menopause. So if you don't already have recovery days, make sure you add them in. But what are recovery days? Recovery days can be active recovery, and I've talked in my video about menopausal joint pain and running, how important active recovery can be just to keep the joints lubricated. So these are things like swimming, cycling, walking, anything that's not running but at a gentler pace. So it's not fast swimming, not fast cycling, it's not a really hard yoga session, it's the gentler versions of all of those. That's going to keep everything moving but allow the body to still to adapt to your running. But there's also just recovery days, or pottering days, where you just potter around. Maybe you just do something else that kind of gives you joy and will help with your stress levels as well. So anything that's going to help kind of reduce your stress, it's going to be great for your running, it's going to be great for your any other menopausal symptoms that you're experiencing. So days where you just maybe just do some meditation, you go outside for a walk, or just enjoy something that you like doing. It's as simple as that, really. And thinking about recovery days, I also want you to think about recovery weeks as well. Quite often in programs you might notice that you're kind of, if you've got a big goal coming up and you're using like an off-the-shelf plan, you might be looking at just building until your race day. And quite often what we need at this time is actually everybody needs this, is recovery weeks. So it's where you build and then you drop down. So you build for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and then you drop down. And it might be that you need more of these recovery weeks. So maybe you have a building week, recovery week, recovery week, and that's going to work for you. Or it might mean that you have 2 or 3 weeks of building and then drop down for a week. So playing around not only with your recovery days but recovery weeks is really key and can be the missing part to why you are feeling exhausted all the time when you're running. So I hope that's given you a really good overview of how balancing the types of runs that you do alongside your recovery can not only help you maintain but also build your running stamina, strength, pace and endurance as you go through menopause and beyond. And if you found this video helpful, please do like and subscribe, and comment below as well on what your takeaways are. What was the key thing that you thought, yes, that's what I'm going to do to help me change my training plans, change my running, so that I can keep running strong as I go through the menopause. I'd love to know.